Hello everyone, good morning or good afternoon, as per your respective time zones. On behalf of entire Mastek Managed Services team, we would like to welcome you all to 22D Cloud Financials Advisory Webinar session. This important session is to keep you fully synchronized with new features and functionalities as a part of this quarterly release which Oracle provides. My name is Aditi Agrawal and I am a senior consultant in finance team at Mastek. Today, I'm your host for this session, and I'm glad to introduce my colleague Vishal Sajani, who is a part of our vast finance team at Mastek. Today, he will take us through all the cloud financial updates for 22D quarterly release. Today's session is planned for around 45 to 60 minutes, and we will also make sure that we also leave some time to answer all your questions you may have. We also have panelists available, Isha Shah, so you can ask any questions you may have. So before we move on to the agenda, let's have a quick look at the important disclaimer. Now, we would like to convey you our approach towards the Oracle updates in a very simpler method. We will be taking you through vital analysis for the 22D updates done by our experts, which will help you incorporating new features and updates easily into the system. Also, we will sync you on any bugs or known issues if there are any. It's good to have an interactive session, so please do ask us questions through chat or question. We will answer them at the end of the session. In case if we run out of time, we will make sure to respond you back by connecting you at a later stage to answer your questions. This is to give you a glimpse of how we have crafted the structure of this session. So we will be listing the new features coming into 22D, detailing on features so you get brief understanding on what new features are all about. Next one is what are the business benefits and the important takeaway for you as a decision maker. These are the 4 components where we have done in-depth analysis of features which we are going to present to you. First one is impact level analysis, which demonstrates the impact on the end of user. So if it's low impact, then regression testing can be avoided. If it's high, then we need to opt for regression testing. Second one is, which we are all aware that there are some features which are by default auto-enabled by Oracle, and there are some which we need to opt out for. Third one highlights the nature of the feature. There would be certain configurations which may be required, or some can be used without making any changes. Last one is a quick one. This term we use to simply convey that what is ready to use by investing minimum amount of time and what requires significant amount of time and effort to make use of this feature. Now, before we hand over to Vishal, we would like to know, with the help of quick poll, which industry does your organization belong to? This will help us creating more fruitful webinar content moving forward. Thank you, everyone. We will be closing the poll now. Hi. Hi, Vishal, and I will be handing over to you now. Please unmute yourself and begin the session.
Thank you, Aditi. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening, as per your respective time zone. I am Vishal Sajani, a part of the Yes Finance team, and I'll be taking you through all the new feature upgrades which Oracle is introducing with this 22D update in this quarter. To begin with, some statistics for the new features included in this quarterly upgrade. So we have a total of 28 cloud new features which will be introduced in this quarter. Of them, 12 are quick wins, 6 are opt-in features, and 10 are not quick wins, which means there is some or the other configuration required to access those new features. First compartment or first classification that we will see will be the quick wins with the default. So these are feature upgrades which Oracle enables by default, and we as users or organizations, we don't need to enable anything or configure anything to access them, and these should be available as and when 22D upgrade is applied on our instances. To start with, the first one, we have some common upgrades which Oracle defines as service excellence investment. These are majorly divided into two portions. The first one is usability and the second one is performance. So these small upgrades are these small bits of improvement. They are not big enough to qualify as a feature upgrade altogether, but they are a small improvement in your day-to-day interaction with the cloud applications. And with these improvements, Oracle aims to increase your efficiency or increase how satisfied you are with your day-to-day interaction. Considering usability features first, these are features which are enhanced, such as error messages when running certain processes, or these can be enhancement to the API workflows that we make calls to, or these can be invoice. Let's say in this approval, in this 22D upgrade, we have invoice approval workflow history enhanced. So these are small bits of improvements which Oracle does every quarter to enhance your experience on a day-to-day basis. Next, we have the next compartment that we have is for performance. So in this quarter, in this quarterly upgrade, Oracle will be has done improvement to increase the performance of various processes, which might take a longer time to run, or which might put um, system resources to test. So a few example of those would be to, let's say, inherit segment value attribute, or import chart of account mapping segment rules where the process might take a longer time to run. So all those processes which take a much longer time than expected to run, Oracle has done some improvement to reduce the time and the system load as well. So the process gets completed within a short amount of time as compared to before. Next, in the common updates, we have a report which shows a workflow transaction reassignment and delegation report. So this report covers the life cycle of a transaction approval workflow, uh, starting from who initiated the transaction, to whom it was assigned for approval, and whether or not it was reassigned to some other user. Now, this report is specifically useful for managers in case some of their team members are on leave or have gone on vacation, and whether they have delegated the approval task allocated to them correctly or not, or even in the regular course of business, if a user reassigns the approval to some other user, this report will give the details for the same, and this can also be used for auditing purpose. The major columns for this report would be the transaction details, action details, rule details, originator user details, and the destination user details. Transaction detail will display or will give the report out of all the transaction, or the specific transactions for which the approval workflow was triggered. Action details as to what action was taken on the approval workflow. Rule details, as in which will display which rule was applied or which rule was triggered for that workflow notification. Originator user details, so who originated the transaction, and the destination user details as to who finally approved or with whom the approval workflow is sitting currently. One special consideration with this report is that currently this report is available only for AP invoice approval workflow, but Oracle has confirmed that they will be expanding it to other workflows as well. But as of 22D, this would only be applicable for invoice approval workflow. Moving on, we have general ledger changes. So the first quick win change with general ledger is the general line description and accounting date display is available now on the inquire on details balance page and drill down pages as well. So this feature upgrade was taken from the Idea Lab of Oracle Cloud Customer Connect, which means that many customers demanded this, and this came from the customers organization sites themselves. So what this feature will change is, on the inquire detailed balances page, accounting date was not available earlier, but it was a requirement from many clients and many organizations that accounting date should be available there. And so Oracle has introduced this change now, and accounting date would be available by default. So once the 22D patch is applied, as in when you open the inquire on detailed balances page, you will be able to see the accounting date of those journal lines. This will improve of how you consume the information, or how we experience the output of the inquire on detailed balances page. We don't need to go into the general line again and check the accounting date. It will be available on the front face itself. The next field which Oracle has made available in this is the general line description. However, general line description won't be enabled by default. If we want to have a general line description visible, we'll need to go into view columns and then select the description. And this was also a much demanded feature. So, and we have many of our client organization coming to us as well, that we need to see the descriptions of journal lines on the front end itself. So now that's possible via Oracle CDate functionality itself, and it can be easily made visible with the column view. The business benefits of this change would be that users will have more flexibility to see what transaction attributes are analyzed, and what information they are seeing on the screen should make much more sense without going into the details. Moving on with the general ledger, we have simplified cross-validation rules using distribution combination sets cross-validation. This is one of the most major highlight of the changes which Oracle is introducing with the general ledger in 22D. So till now, we for the security features of the general ledger, we only had segment value security rules and cross-validation rules. But with 22D, Oracle has introduced a new security feature, or enhanced the current security feature of the cross-validation by introducing combination sets. So what these combination sets do? So till now, we could define conditions in our cross-validation rule, and based on those conditions, Oracle Fusion would determine whether the accounting combination that we are trying to create is valid or not. But with the introduction of combination set, instead of the condition, we can define for each cross-validation or specific combination set, and so without going to the condition, system can directly check whether the accounting combination getting created is allowed or disallowed as per the combination set. Now there can be two types of combination sets that can be created. One is allow and one is disallow. So for taking an example, if we create a allow type of combination set, any combination accounting combination that is being generated, if it is in the allow combination set, system will allow it to be created. The second type is disallow combination set. So the accounting combination that is being created, if it's in the disallowed, the system will not allow that combination set accounting combination to be created. So that's how this will work. Also, this will work in conjunction with the cross validation condition. So it's not like either or. Both cross validation condition and cross validation combination set can work together. And because we have and because the nature of the combination sets could be that there are many high volume of the combination sets that organizations might need to create. So Oracle has given here the facility to import that combination sets via FBDI template. So with the help of spreadsheets, this can be very easily imported into the system as well. Also, to improve the overall user experience, uh, Oracle has given a single screen from where you can manage your cross-validation rules, your cross-validation conditions and cross-validation combination set. From the same screen, you can upload, you can import uh, the VDI template for combination sets as well. Let's have a look how the screen would be looking. So this is the screen manage cross validation, which would be available to us once the 22D upgrade comes in. So as you can see from the actions menu, we have create option, upload option, manage option, and validate option. So from a single screen itself, we can manage all our cross validation rules as well as combination sets. So it will definitely enhance the user experience while creating such combination sets or uploading the same. So what will be the business benefits of this major change in the general ledger? So the first one could be that there is a centralized user interface for managing both the rules and combination sets from a single screen. So you don't need to go back and forth with the screen just to determine or set up your cross-validation rules and combination sets. It can be done via a single screen. The records can be uploaded in bulk via FPTI. We have external integrations using REST API as well, right? And there would be improved compliance and control for auditors to view the change history of the combination set as to what action was taken on them by which user. Also, we have option of management of cross-validation combination and to determine whether the combinations are effective immediately or from a effective start date that you can define. Also, from the schedule processes, job will be there, manage cross combination job, which can determine the already configured or already created accounting combinations. It can validate those against the current rules and current combination sets and give you a report of whether the current already created accounting combinations are valid or not as per the current rules. Based on that report, you can take appropriate actions on them, which can be either to undate them or disable them as per your business requirement. Moving ahead, the next update that we have is for the intercompany. So with this feature upgrade, Oracle is allowing us to have a multiple supplier assignment by intercompany organization. So if we have multiple intercompany organizations within one legal entity, now we can define a supplier to each of the intercompany organization without selecting all of them. This is a very quick win for the organizations using intercompany balances. And the business benefits of this would be that we would be able to assign suppliers at each intercompany organization level, and also we could manage suppliers across intercompany organization within a single legal entity. Moving on, the next update that we have is in the expenses module. This is detailed view of audit reasons by expense in expense audit. So in the previous update, we saw that there was a separate audit summary enabled for each of the expenses which were flagged for audit. In this 22D enhancement, the audit rules checked page is introduced within the audit summary and would be available at the top in the audit summary screen. So what this audit rules check page would enable the auditor, or what data it will show to the auditor. So these are the screenshots of how this would be looking. So this audit rules check would list down all the audit rules for which this or any particular expense report was flagged with the level as well. So whether an expense report item was flagged or the whole report was flagged, at what level the rule flagged this expense, any particular expense report, that level would also be available here. What benefit this will provide to the auditors is that auditors don't need to go or check manually as to what audit rule this expense report has breached. or for what reason this was flagged, it would be directly visible with the expense report screen to the auditors. So it will definitely save them the time and effort to investigate it deeply by going into different screens. So all the required information would be available to auditors at the expense report screen itself. Moving on, next update that we have is in the expenses module again, which is improved address selection for commute mileage. So we all know that we can select addresses for mileage expenses from with the help of Oracle Map. So with this enhancement, the search results while using the map to search for address locations and submitting the mileage expenses. Oracle has included certain enhancements like the addresses without postal codes would also be included now. The search of addresses within a specific postal code will display address suggestion for specific to that postal code only. And if we have same named locations in different countries, so there Oracle has now introduced the country attribute as well, so that there is no confusion while selecting the address location. The main benefit of this enhancement would be for the employee users who will be able to choose the correct location, and there would be no doubt, or there is a minimum risk of doubt while selecting the address for mileage expenses. Next update is also in the expenses module, which is a receipt missing indicator in mobile application. So as you all know, most of our employees are now mobile in their day-to-day work as well, and many employees or many organizations use Oracle's mobile expense application for submitting the expense report. So now Oracle has provided us an enhancement in 22D that receipt missing indicator would be available while submitting expense reports through mobile application as well. Till now, this receipt missing indicator was available on the web UI definitely, but from now on, from 22D, it would also be available in the mobile application while submitting the expense report. Also, as per the set application or the business policy, it can display a violation warning message if the receipts are missing. Approvers can review the receipt requirement policy violation, and approvers can also review the expense detail and take appropriate action in the mobile application itself. This feature also allows employees to fully complete the expense report entry from their mobile application and submit them. And let's say if the employee doesn't have the receipt, so they don't need to go to the web UI and then submit the information regarding missing receipt. That can now be done from the mobile application itself. Next update that we have is for payables module. So with this enhancement, Oracle has introduced certain additional attributes for workflow rule configuration. So invoice approval workflow is definitely mostly used by all the organizations with their as per the business requirements from them. So now Oracle has enabled or provided us with certain additional attributes which we can use while defining the conditions or rules for invoice approvals. So these include descriptive flex fields from supplier header level, supplier site level, and from purchase order header level, we have freight terms, total PO matched amount. From PO line, we have PO line category name, purchase basis, and from PO schedule additional attributes, we have match approval level, PO matched amount, PO destination type, and lookup code as well. So this update will definitely enhance or will address many requirements that we have while considering or configuring the invoice approval workflow. And if any of our attributes required is from the additional attributes which Oracle is introducing here, the rules would be fairly simple to develop with the help of these additional attributes. Next update that we have is for the receivables module, which is management of negative line amount and transaction completion. So in 22B upgrade, Oracle introduced this additional control feature for invoices with negative lines, where and control completion region at transaction type level, where we can define as per the transaction type that whether we want to allow completion for this specific transaction type or not. So this was introduced in 22B. In this 22D upgrade, Oracle has enabled these fields to be visible from the UI itself. So while searching for the invoices or credit memos or AR transactions, we can search via these UI fields that whether these invoices are allowed for completion or not. If not, whether we have control completion reasons for them. So this will facilitate AR managers or AR analysts to check what invoices are pending for completion, and if they have this flag for allow completion set to know, these can be actioned accordingly. So this functionality was already there, but in 22D, Oracle has made it easier to search such invoices or such transaction types from the managed transactions or from the dashboard of billing page itself. Next update we have in the receivables module, which is activity display in receipt application. So whenever you open up a receipt and you want to see which receivable activity was used in application of the same, this would now be visible at the receipt page itself, and this would definitely help AR team to see, or if they want to know which receivable activity was used in application of any particular receipt, this information would be handily available right at the receipt page. Next update that we have is for lease accounting, which includes rights and obligations import. So in previous upgrades, Oracle provided an option or enhancement to include rights and obligation in the lease accounting in the managed leases itself. In this 22D upgrade, what Oracle has done, Oracle has enhanced the facility or enhanced the uh, feature to allow import of rights and obligations via spreadsheet. So this would significantly reduce the data entry effort, because of the spreadsheet import, these can just be loaded or imported into the lease management. So this marks the completion of quick win features for which we didn't need to enable anything. They will come in as default enabled whenever 22D patch comes in. The next section that we have is the quick win for opt-in features. So these features can be availed via opting in. So if we don't want to use the feature now, we have an option, but if we want to use these features, we'll need to enable them or opt in for them separately from the setup and maintenance screen. So let's have a look at these. Uh, for general ledger, we now have range-based hierarchy creation using file-based data import available now. This is also a pretty big upgrade for general ledger, which means that instead of defining each and every child or parent value separately while importing the hierarchy level, we can now define the range base. So for an example, I want to define a parent range node to be 1100 to 1200. So all the values, all the child values which is between this range, this will be directly included in that specific parent node, and I don't need to mention, or I don't need to create a separate child node for all these values. What business benefits this specific feature can give? This can mean that you can configure your hierarchies within a much shorter time, as compared to before, because you don't need to specify each and every value separately. If your hierarchy requirements are already in a range, you can just define that range either in child values or in parent values, and Oracle will include all the child values within them at your in your hierarchy. So to give you an example, in the previous example that we saw, that if I am defining 1100 to 1200 range, this is how the system would take all the values in the hierarchy range. Next up, we have cash management, where we have legal entity based data access for bank account setup. This is for internal bank accounts. So till now, cash managers used to have access to all the internal bank accounts. But with this 22D upgrade, the access to internal bank accounts can be restricted by the legal entity. So this specific enhancement would result in better governance and control from the organization's internal team. And the main requirement or the main basis for this feature was, many a times organizations want to restrict the right to modify or right to add the bank account to the cash managers based on the legal entity that they are working for. So now this, with this feature included in 22D, this would be possible. You can define the legal entity access for cash managers in the manage data access for users. Once that is defined and this feature is opted in for, those cash managers would only be able to see internal bank accounts associated with the legal entity they have access to. So yeah, this will greatly help organizations to have better control and governance on the internal bank account setup and editing of those. Next up, we have lease accounting, where we have new enhancement in lease cancellation. So with the 22D upgrade, Oracle has introduced a feature where we can delete the leases which are in draft status. So for any reason, if you want to cancel or cancel the lease, so till the time it's in draft status, this can be cancelled now. What impact will it have on the lease creation? So once cancelled, the lease becomes read only. It will not be included in any of the report. It will not be included in any of the actions. They are filtered from the search results as well. But um, because the record is already there in the system, they maintain their audit history and numbering sequence as well. But this will greatly reduce the uh, unwanted leads or cancelled leads from our day-to-day working with lead management module. Next up, we have lease impairment. So uh, based on the current scenario, or based on the how the economy is working, we might have a requirement to impair our leases. So that would also be possible now. So or with the 22D upgrade, Oracle has made it possible to create lease impairments through user interface as well as FPDI imports. What this feature would provide benefit to the business, that we can have a much more accurate reflection of the leases of the organization's leases. We can have better compliance with the IFRS 16, and also because the audit and history for all the impairments are maintained. Even the audit can have a trail of how the value or how the value of current lease was arrived. Next up, we have budgetary control. So in budgetary control, Oracle has introduced enhancement for the cash budget. So cash budget were introduced in the previous quarterly upgrade 22C, but it was only applicable for the payment processing request payment mode. With this 22D upgrade, Oracle has introduced or enabled quick pay and pay in full option as well to validate against the cash budget. So once this feature is opted in, even when we use quick pay or pay in full payment mode for any invoices, system will check or validate that particular payment against the cash budget and will only allow it to be moved forward to payments if there is balance available or there are funds available in the cash budget. So this feature was already there, but it has been further enhanced to include quick pay and pay in full invoices as well. Next up, we have bill management. So the next upgrade is in bill management module. So this upgrade, this feature enhancement is a quick one where Oracle has allowed us, our users, to download the balance forward bill made available to the customers. So these can now be downloaded in PDF format as and when required. So this completes the feature upgrade where certain opt-in was required by the organization to use them. Now we will be covering a few feature upgrades where we need to configure something, configure some of the options in the system to use those features. Here, the first one we have for the expenses where we have allocation for itemized expenses. So in the previous upgrade, we saw that Oracle allowed separate allocation for each of the expense report items. We can allocate it to different projects or different cost centers as per the business requirement. In 22D update, the same feature is enhanced for the itemization of the expenses as well. So this can be the same as the allocation of expense item these itemizations belong to, or these can be different from there as per the business requirement or the actual scenario. But yeah, this allocation for itemized expenses is possible now with the 22D upgrade. Next up, we have notification to employees when new corporate charges arrive. So with this, with the introduction of this feature, as and when new corporate card charges arrive for any particular employee, the employee will receive a notification saying that these many corporate card charges are now available for you to raise an expense report for. This will greatly benefit organizations where we have seen delay from the employee side to submit the expense report. It will also speed up the reimbursement process if applicable in that specific scenario. Next up, for expenses, we have enforcement of daily sum limit for entertainment policy. So with this upgrade, uh, Oracle has enabled the system to enforce daily limit per attendee for these expenses. So even if the same person is listed as an attendee by different employees, we can set policies to have a maximum amount per attendee with this new feature upgrade. This will greatly benefit businesses where they want to uh, limit spending, expense spending by employees on a per employee or per attendee basis. So this feature will help achieve that requirement as well. And this is only applicable for the entertainment type of expenses. Next up, for expenses, we have enhancement to create report from trips process itself. So if your organization uses travel setup in the expenses where we can book travel for employees, and expense report can be directly created from there. So Oracle has now made it possible to create the automatic expense report even if the charge for those or the expense for those trips have not yet arrived on the corporate card. So once configured, even if the corporate car charges are yet to arrive in our system. Uh, from the trip, the automatic expense report can be created, and it would be automatically assigned to the employee as well. So this will greatly benefit the organizations who use a centrally billed card to book employees' travel, or who prepay employees' travel expenses. Next up, for the expenses, we have primary receipt as attachment. So many a times employees email the receipt for being attached to the expense report. So till now, the whole email was being attached to the expense report as a PDF and along with the attachment. But now we have an option to configure the system in such a way that only the primary receipts which is attached in the email is attached to the expense report as a receipt. So this will greatly clarify to the auditor that okay, directly without going into the email PDF, the receipt of the expense would be directly available in the expense report. Next up, for payables, we have intelligent account combination defaulting for invoice. So there are some enhancement or some features which Oracle has defined as adaptive intelligent features, or which are based on the adaptive intelligence technology from Oracle. So these are not enabled directly, or they can't be chosen or opted in via the normal route. Such features you need to raise or log in Oracle SR and request an early adopter's code to access this feature. So the first feature with this in this suite of features would be intelligent account combination defaulting for AP invoices. So once enabled and once configured, uh, as soon as we try to create an AP invoice, system will default the distribution combination based on the past invoices that we have already created with the same item type or suppliers. And definitely the user would have option to change the distribution combination, but yeah, it would not need to be entered manually. System will try to default the distribution combination itself. So this feature will heavily rely on the machine learning algorithms from the Oracle side. The business benefits of this feature would include that there would be a significant reduction in the time to create manual invoices. It would reduce the thinking time for AP analyst users, and users can focus on the data accuracy rather than the data entry part of the creation of invoices. Next up, for payables, we have campaign management for early payment discount offers. So with this upgrade, we can create email campaigns for our suppliers, and we can offer them early payment, and suppliers can agree on a discount they want to give us because of this early payment. So suppliers would have the option to opt in for a standing offer, or to agree to a one-time discount, or decline the offer or unsubscribe from the campaign as well. So this feature would greatly benefit the organizations where they want to automatically onboard the suppliers into early payment discount program, and they can also automate processing of the suppliers who accept the discount offer. And with just a few clicks, we can include all the targeted suppliers in our early discount programs. Next up, we have routing number and sort code search for US and UK employee bank account creation. So this feature would greatly help employees while they are adding the bank accounts for their payments. Let's say for pay, they want to receive their payrolls in their bank accounts, or they want to receive the expense reimbursement. So in such cases, now they can search the bank and the bank branch details based on the routing number. if they are from US, or sort code if they are from UK. So this would greatly help employees to reduce the time they want to search for bank and bank branch, because in today's internet banking era, we don't have the details handily available. So in that case, sort code or routing number could be a handy tool. Next up, for receivables, we have claim creation management of positive invalid references in Lockbox. So Lockbox has a feature to automatically create the claims if configured. So claim can be created in case of overpayment or underpayment. With this feature upgrade, so till now it was not possible to segregate whether we want to create claim for only the negative invalid transactions or the positive one. But with this upgrade, we can configure whether we want a logbox file to create claim for underpayment or overpayments, or for both. Next up, for assets, we have enhancement for automatic asset numbering. So with this feature upgrade, Oracle has provided an option to prevent users from manually entering the asset numbers. So once this option is checked in or configured, it will help ensure that all our assets are sequentially numbered by the system itself, and asset numbers can't be entered manually by the users. So this marks the completion of all the feature upgrades that Oracle introduced in 22D. I would like to thank you all for your time and patiently listening to me for all these features. I would like to hand over back to Aditi now.
Thank you, Vishal, for your wonderful insights. Before we move to Q&A, with the help of a quick poll, we would like to note down your area of interest in order to organize future webinars with more value-based content. So here is the poll to let us know your area of interest, whether it is managed services, innovation technologies, BBA, data masking. Thank you, everyone. We will be closing the poll now. Let's quickly move towards Q&A part now. Hi, Isha. Could you please check if we have any questions you want to take up?
Hi, Aditi. There are no questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Isha. In the next 24 hours, you will receive an email wherein presentation and session recording would be available to you at a single click from the web page. So please do look out for an email in your inbox. So these are the upcoming sessions which you can see on screen. Please register or ask your colleagues to register and be a part of the webinars. Before you leave us, we would like to have a quick feedback on the today's session. Thank you, everyone. We will be closing this poll now. Before you all leave us, we would like to have one more poll where we would like to know if you have attended any previous advisory sessions. Thank you, everyone. We will be closing the poll now. Thank you once again for your valuable time. Bye, everyone.